Good morning and welcome to a new class. I am going to talk about India's new cinema, as you can see from the slide. This is a period in Indian cinema which is, you might say, considered as one of the most creative phases in the history of Indian cinema. Now, this phase is characterized by certain patronization from the Indian state or government. This phase of Indian cinema was a breakaway from the kind of studio system that we had seen pre-independence. Now, we had already talked about some of the pre-independence movies, and also in the 1950s we talked about Mother India in the last class. So, in the post-independence era in Indian cinema, you will see that there is an emergence of, first of all, there is an influx of people to the art of cinema. People have come and joined this art of doing films, and which became it gave more creativity to the Indian cinema industry. Post independence, we see that with the rise of individual directors and producers, the studio system was slowly going down. The studio system, which had come to occupy a very important position in Indian filmmaking tradition. So, this individual directors and producers were emerging who were taking on subjects that were unseen in the Indian film industry till that point. One more important thing that happened during this period was the fact that the government emerged as the new patron, as the new savior of this industry. You will remember that the government had already made the film commission, which I talked about in the last class. So, the government was acting as the new patron of cinema, and not only cinema, all the other forms of art as well. Now, why was this important? This is important because cinema was one of the most influential medium of art according to the government. So, this became after all an important medium to make a change. So, the government started to take interest, and after the film commissions and all, there were a lot of taxes on cinema. So, cinema was also one of the major revenue producing sources for the government. So, since the 1950s onwards, after the film commission report came out and all, the government started to really take interest in the making of movies, in the way in which films get support. Now, we will see how the government, in the next slides we will see how the government started to take this interest, in what ways. Now, this support of the government was actually instrumental, was actually one of the reasons why we actually could see the rise of alternate cinema, or rather we can also say independent cinema in India. Now, why do we call this alternate cinema or independent cinema? Because of the fact that they were independent filmmakers who contributed to the genre of filmmaking. They delved into areas, social issues, which were untouched upon from the beginning. They were alternate in the sense that they brought about a change in the way we perceived filmmaking and film watching. They made a change in the way in which we understand stories were being told. Now this was something which needed a lot of courage, if you particularly think of the age that they were making this cinema. So the state patronage or the help from the government can be divided into basic three categories. In three ways the government actually helped the independent filmmaking movement. And the number one was, of course, patronage in the form of money, finance, producing films. The second was film promotion. Film promotion was in the sense of distributing it, taking it to the film festivals outside India, giving them the larger audience. And of course the last one, promoting the film culture, the film watching culture. The government also in fact helped out so that more and more people could actually watch films, and there could be a film watching. Before that, if you remember, in the 1950s, cinema was still a very urban affair. Not many rural areas had access to cinema. So the government also promoted the film viewing culture. Film societies was one of the ways in which the government also tried to help in the film viewing culture in India. And thus these are the three ways in which the state actually contributed to the emergence of cinema, or rather new cinema as we might call it. The first that is important in our discussion is that the government started to finance films and also provide training to film personnel. Now, finance is one of the most important contributory factors. If you remember, during the World War II, there was a lot of money that was coming into cinema, because a lot of black money was earned during the time of war, and all of this money found their way into cinema. But once the war ended and post-independence, you will see there was suddenly again lack of finance into cinema. Clean money wasn't available in cinema, and whatever money producers invested in cinema were all what you would call as commercial cinema. They wouldn't be interested in films which actually touched upon social issues or social realities and all. So this kind of topics were no-go areas for commercial film producers. The government started to finance. It also started to train people, because India till the time of independence was heavily reliant upon foreign film technicians, foreign film people, directors, and who would come to India and help out in the production of movies. So there was so filmmaking was a very costly affair in that sense. Technicians were hard to get by. Film festivals was another way in which the Indian government started to promote film. Film festivals were organized, and Indian films were also sent to foreign film festivals, and there were a lot of screenings of Indian films that was done abroad, and this is in a way opened up the world to Indian cinema. Indian cinema was an unknown entity till then. Indian cinema never found its presence in foreign film festivals. So the Indian government also helped in that manner, and it also started to organize film festivals in India. Now these steps that the government started to take created this independent film culture that we are actually, I have named it in the first slide as the new Indian cinema. And this fostered this kind of promotion. So promoting, the government patronage was one of the most essential elements, because if you understand, commercial cinema was always there. There was an audience for commercial cinema always. Commercial cinema was happy in earning money. They were not much into the idea of a critical filmmaking, and they were not producing such kind of films. So they were not bothered about that. So for the state to come in and produce films actually created the grounds for this new movement. if I may call this as a new movement. So new institutes were created. When I talk about training, new institutes are created, and there's a lot of people in India started formal education in film technologies. Now this was something path-breaking, because in India itself you started having such technical educations only focused on the idea of filmmaking. This is something very path-breaking in the sense of education in India. The government provided finance for films in the form of loans, and some of these loans were given in very in terms in which you could pay back the loan in very easy terms. So the producers who would take these loans from government would not worry about whether the film earns a profit. Now this is a very important idea, because when the government loans you money, and if you don't have to return, or you have to return in very easy terms, you have to return a very minuscule interest rate, there is a lot of courage that producers get in financing films which otherwise would not have been made. Now this is something we have to take into consideration at this stage. The Government of India created the Film Finance Corporation in the year 1960. So 1960 is a very important year in the history of Indian cinema. Film Finance Corporation was a government entity which was created with the sole aim of providing finance to Indian films. In the initial years of this, we will call this as FFC in the future. In the initial years, the Film Finance Corporation would only forward finance to established names, to people who were already successful in the film industry, to films which were also commercial in nature. This was the initial years of FFC. They did not want to take risk, and the government created FFC, and thus the FFC had its own formula of giving out loans, and so some of these loans actually went out to commercial cinema, which were commercially also very successful, so that with the money that the FFC was investing was coming back. But in 1969 there was a policy change. So 9 years after FFC was created, in 1969 there was a policy change. It decided to also finance, as per its new policy, to low budget independent films, to filmmakers who were making their debut, who would not find finance otherwise, who would fail to be commercially successful in the terms of Hindi cinema. The first film that was financed under this scheme then was a film by Mrinal Sen called Bhuvan Shom. Bhuvan Shom was a remarkable film, considered to be the first film in the New Indian Cinema movement, or the alternate Indian cinema movement. It was a film made in Bengali, so it was a regional film. It was a low budget film, and but it became a success. It was also financially successful. It got quite an audience. Mrinal Sen's career also takes off after this. He starts to make films which are also then recognized after this. This is then the beginning of the new cinema movement in India, because you have the government which is financing at a low cost loan. You have a filmmaker who is highly creative and who wants to make a film on his own term, and they come together and they create an alternate cinema. They create a cinema which is undeniably a art house cinema, an alternate cinema. It's not a commercial cinema. It's not something that you see in Indian cinema scape. Bhuvan Shom was then, this success of Bhuvan Shom made it also gave courage to FFC. They started funding a lot of other small budget, low cost films by alternate filmmakers, filmmakers who were critically acclaimed filmmakers. So some of these films that FFC started to finance, in fact, between 1969 to 79, that decade, it funded 55 feature films, if I am not mistaken, which were all in this category of alternate cinema because they were low budget, they were offbeat in nature, they were so this, and they were made, many of them were debut filmmakers. Some of these filmmakers had come from these training institutes that the government had made. So Bhuvan Shum actually started this rolling ball of a new cinema movement, and FFC started funding one after another such critically acclaimed films, which in hindsight was one of the major reasons why the New India cinema movement was successful. Some of the characteristics of these films that of this decade that FFC financed, and you would these films did not have star actors, so they did not bank on star actors. You would know that this period decade of the 60s to the 70s had a lot of superstars acting in the Hindi film industry, but these low budget films, these alternate films did not bank on stars. In fact, they had their alternate actors who would be method actors, who would be actors who had come from theatre and other training schools and who would make a name for themselves in this kind of films. The directors were mostly new. So FFC took courage and invested in people who had not made films before but who had great ideas. They had not made commercial films in their lives. They were independent filmmakers. They were not backed by any studios or big producers. Most of these films also, as a matter of policy of the script, so if the script demanded, they did not have any songs or dance or these masala ingredients that you have come to see in commercial cinema, in Hindi cinema or other commercial regional cinema. This is very important because we could not imagine Bollywood or Indian cinema without songs and dance and those masala ingredients that has come to represent our cinema so well. So they were script driven cinema. So script would be the main idea which would, so if the script demanded a song, probably a song would be there. Many of them thus did not have all of these elements. These cinemas, these directors who came up with the scripts actually wrote scripts which would not find any other producer in the market. No producer was willing to finance these scripts. And the treatment of the script, the way in which they made these movies was, so they could get no recognition in the market, the way in which they made this film. So if FFC wasn't there, these films would not have been made at all. Thus, for this kind of people, this new directors coming in, alternate directors coming in, independent people coming in to make films, critically acclaimed films coming like Satyajit Ray and Mrinal Sen, they coming in to make films. The FFC started, FFC was a savior in fact. The fact that these films were made is because of the fact that the government